And that's how we started the Lord. We're back. All right. Yeah, so we've been laughing over here because producer Jay in the corner has just been letting us ramble on about Crocs for the last 20 minutes.
It was good conversation.
Apparently, the kids in Rudolph swear by them, so that's a thing.
Big Crocs fan.
Well, welcome everybody back to the Linesmen. We're in episode 3 here. We're going to be talking a little bit of recap over some of the movement in the table in the Premier League, some clinches, some wins, some big losses, some tears. We're going to get into kind of looking up in next week, some of the bets and stuff we're going to be placing. And we're going to be introducing a new section this week that we're going to be calling VAR, the VAR, where we are going to be going through the bets and making fun of probably me, Arbey, because I lose every single one that I place.
Arbey did not have the meats this week.
Yeah. All right. So again, you're here with me on the mic right here, Arbey. We got Nick and Andy.
Yo.
And producer Jay.
Yo.
Yo.
How we doing?
There he is.
You know, producer Jay is getting worn thin over here. It's a long road, but I'm glad to be here. Glad to be joining you guys as always. How we doing tonight?
We're living. Good weekend, right? We had some great weather for the mothers. You know, I don't know if we said it last week, but you know, happy Mother's Day if we didn't.
Mother's Day.
It was a great weekend. I was able to get home back to the vineyard, get to hang out with my mom for the entirety of the weekend. So that was a blast. You guys have anything fun happen over the weekend?
Just number one grandson stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Taking my brother and I taking our grandmas out to eat. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Getting bougie over here.
Getting bougie. What was it, Davio's?
Keep it local.
Oh,
We keep it local. We keep it in-house. Had a roast beef dinner. It's delicious.
Nice.
Yep.
All right.
Got my mom some beach gear because it's heating up. Summer's coming.
Beach season.
Summer's coming.
She loves a beach. I got number one favorite place on earth.
I've been getting absolutely roasted by the sun this past couple days.
Yeah, I've been trying to enjoy some of it now before it gets too nice. Get myself a nice little base red because I'm the pastiest kid in the world. So once I get that base going, I think I'll be feeling a little bit better about finding the beach again. I think I'm brighter than the sun right now, though. So I can't take the shirt off yet.
All right.
All right. Yeah. So this week, we had a little bit of movement going here in the race for the top 4. It got even tighter, for Europe. So why don't we recap some of the games? We started off kind of talking about, Leicester's loss to Newcastle.
So unfortunately, I missed that game. I couldn't really tell you anything about it, but Leicester coming back with a win against Man United earlier in the week, kind of clinching that title for City. We'll get a little into that later, but. Yeah, a couple games that should have been a little different. I think starting off with that Mother's Day one, West Ham versus Everton. I think Everton just hung on by a thread that entire game. Not that West Ham was threatening that much. I think they had like 2 shots on net or something like that.
Yeah, but that number I hate it the most in the world when it comes to this sport. Just soccer in general, like shots on net. Like unless the goalie's making the save, it's not a shot on net. But you can be ripping the ball down the middle and somebody else dives across, takes it off the head. Mm-hmm. I mean they were definitely pressing for a lot of the game. They had a couple of real big set pieces that I just was just so sad that they didn't go in. Just the wrong person, trying to put the open net headers in. If it was Antonio out there in the corners, I think every single one of them would have gone in.
Yeah.
But he was kind of playing a little bit more down the middle today, not taking one of the posts. So I think that was kind of the difference. We talked that game up last week too.
We did talk that game up.
That'll definitely that might find its place in the old review section.
Yes, maybe potentially Arsenal 3-1 against West Brom. Not that they're making any moves in the table up to the top 6, you could say. But we were talking about this off air. They're third place if we started the season on Christmas Day. They're third place with like 48 points or something like that. Unbeaten. Their unbeaten run just in the Premier League's pretty great right now. Just too late. Too little too late for the boys in red.
Yeah.
Gooners.
They got 3 straight wins, right?
3 straight wins. Great though. Good stuff.
I mean, I don't Is it out of reach?
Oh, 100%.
They're what, 55 points? They got 2 games left.
Yeah,
I guess it's Liverpool though, and West Ham.
The most they can get is 61 if they win out.
Yeah, well, it's West Ham though. What's going to happen with them? We were just talking about that.
We've been hyping. We've been on the West Ham hype train for so long.
I wanted it. I wanted it so bad.
And they just haven't performed.
It was that stretch after the new year that they were looking
hot.
Yeah, it looked like it was never going to end, and then clearly it looks like it may have ended.
Never ever. Say never ever.
But yeah, I don't know. I think it just goes to show maybe lack of depth, lack of just that finishing kind of mentality.
Yeah.
They're not there yet. I wanted them to be really bad. But they still got a ways to go because this would have been their very first Champions League appearance. So, I mean, the fact that this is a club that's never been to that level,
yeah,
it kind of is showing now in this late run, late kind of close to the season here. It's
Hey, maybe they come back in the summer, make some decent signings. Maybe they challenge for next year.
I think this lights the fire.
Yeah,
over there because it had been a couple kind of strange years. People felt good, felt bad, felt uneasy.
Yeah.
But this is, I mean, all signs,
all positive.
Yeah, are positive.
Look at Leicester. Leicester won the league in 2015, and they haven't been below the top 10.
Yeah.
Since then,
you got to establish yourself at the top to be able to stay at the top.
Yep.
And they're establishing themselves near the top. They're not there. They're not there yet, though.
I think they'll get there eventually.
And I mean, at least I think that holding on to at least 6 right now, it's in their court. I mean, the schedule couldn't have been any better for them. They got Brighton, West Brom, and Southampton to finish out the year. So
it should be 9 points. Should be 3 wins.
It should be 3 wins there.
Yeah.
So it's theirs to lose at this point. So they got to do something. There's a couple teams. I mean, Everton's right back there too. I think at 56. Same with Tottenham. I mean, I was just saying at Tottenham's there's goal differentials plus 20 right now, and somehow they're sitting down there in 7th place now.
Yeah.
So I think for them, they gotta hope that they win out, because if they lose one game, one of those other teams is very likely to sneak in and steal that from them.
West Ham, Tottenham, Everton, and we'll just say Arsenal for this matter. They're all like 1 or 2 players away from competing in that top 10.
Yeah,
maybe for that 6th place spot. You never know. Next season.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of moves.
There's gonna be a lot of moves this offseason, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this weekend couldn't have been any worse for Tottenham. Every team behind them that was pressing up, every single one of them won. Arsenal, Everton, Liverpool, every single one of them won, and they went out there and just, I'm telling you, it was sad. It was just sad. They were playing so well, I felt like, but they just couldn't score. Everything, a couple of pretty bad, I'd say VAR reviews on offsides. The one on Harry Kane. I mean, it was
thin margins.
It was the closest thing I've ever seen. I don't know. I don't know how they think his pinky might have been over the line.
A hair offsides is offside.
Yeah,
but then penalties are. Yeah, I don't know. Then they review a penalty call or other calls, red cards, yellow cards, whatever, and it's so much discretion.
It just stays, yeah.
And then offsides is.
It's like no, the computer told us that he's over, so therefore he's over.
All right, reel it in. Yeah, but
boys.
No, I mean that's part of the game though. One like an early a goal that clacks in, that they did get the. They didn't get the first run of the match. They came back and tied at 1-1. Ended up losing 3-1
real quick too.
But if those bounces go, I mean, yeah, it changes the game, but that's just credit to Leeds of just being in it the whole time and making their chances count.
Marcelo Bielsa, the manager for Leeds, he's done a very, very good job.
Hats off to him,
year.
Big time.
Hats off to him. Going from the 2nd division, the championship, to 10th or 11th place in the Premier League is no easy feat.
I mean, they used to win the league. They used to make runs into Champions League and Europe. Like they were a top club for.
Yeah, I think their last.
While we were children, while we were suckling.
I think their last Premier League game was in like 2007, 2008, maybe back in the day. They were a solid team, and you know what? As much as a United fan, as much as I don't like Leeds United, good for them. They're back. You love to see those historic teams come back and compete.
reestablish themselves.
Yeah, it's always nice.
Yeah, important
It's
club,
always nice.
a lot of history.
Yeah, and for me as a Spurs fan, I think it was just glaring how bad the defense is. Just lack of spatial awareness. It looked like guys were looking at dandelions at some points, just letting people get into these in just open space and open field, and just not putting a body on a man at all. And a couple of the shots, I'm telling you, they didn't even put their foot out to try to even make a block. So it was all on Laura's to make a big save.
Yeah.
And that's so frustrating, I feel like, as the goalie.
They're back four either. There should be no room back there for a team like Leeds to be scoring 3 goals on them.
I feel like it's just a level of maybe they lost their edge after the after Mourinho leaves and then they lose that cup final, and I think a lot of the wind is out of their sails at a really tough time to be losing all that momentum, all that like joy in the game. Like it's just they're kind of it seems like they're kind of spent. They're kind of, and that's the only reason why those guys aren't throwing their bodies on the line, because normally they would be. Normally they're performing at a top level.
Yeah.
It's got to be some sort of mental.
Yeah, maybe if it happened, back in January, it would be different.
Time to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, since it happened like almost a month ago at this point.
Well, they won their first 2 games under Ryan Mason, so it was like, I don't know, I was talking about last week. I was like, almost looked like that fire came back. And then something about the way that this game, you could see it just like there wasn't any leadership there when the calls started not going their way. It was just kind of like slowly but surely draining them.
Yeah,
and you still had
tell
opportunities.
Some players are checked out already.
But they started just checking out, and it was just like it started to get bad to watch.
Yeah. Let's talk about some more historic teams playing in this weekend. Aston Villa on their way back up. Unfortunately, no Jack Grealish for them this past weekend, going up against Manchester United, obviously losing 3-1. But again, Man United extending their away unbeaten streak to 22 games, surpassing Liverpool's last year of 21, and only 3 behind Arsenal's, I think, invisible year.
Invincibles, yeah. They just couldn't lose. I think they had like 27.
Yeah, they're 27.
Unbeaten.
That's incredible.
This is spanning over 2 seasons at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's impressive run for United. Unfortunately, they lost to Leicester.
Drop points today.
Drop points two games in a row. They've played a packed schedule. They've played 4 games in these past week, I would say.
Yeah, because this was that rescheduled game from the fan protests. So they had to just squeeze it in.
It almost got shut down again today.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fans were parking their cars in front of the team buses, but
yeah, they just really didn't want.
They just really don't want this game to happen. I don't know why.
No, it's kind of one of those things. It's kind of funny because this weekend, even just not the fans with Man U, but this weekend it looked like it was almost going to be a little different until we got into these weekday games that happened, right? Like everything this weekend turned out where it was just like, all right, City hasn't clinched yet. All right, is Man U still going to be able to make a push? They just dominated Villa. So like what's going to happen with it? And then all of a sudden Man U comes in on Tuesday and they just decide to play nobody. Like what did they do? What was up with that card?
I couldn't tell you the lineup for that game. I don't hate it. Like I'm gonna try to pull up this lineup for
the actual lineup.
But this loss gave the title to City.
Yeah.
I think it seemed like a foregone conclusion in a way, but it was a game that could have kind of stretched the league race a little longer. But I think there's a level of them, Manchester United, looking past this Premier League title a little bit here.
They had 10 points on them anyway, so it was like it was going to be a stretch. Yeah,
United had to win out the rest of their games, especially with 4 games in 7 days. That's tough, even for your best players.
And City needed to lose another game.
Yeah, I think that's why United went with the team they did. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 academy graduates, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 academy graduates on the bench.
Yeah, so they
were playing their pretty much their youth. I'm not taking anything away from Leicester. Leicester's a very good team, but they were playing the guys that got no time.
I don't know. I feel like some other people might be a little upset about putting out a lineup like that.
Yeah, we'll get into that. there was a lot of negative feelings around that lineup across the Premier League, but especially Liverpool fans. And I don't know if I've said this yet, but I think Liverpool fans are like the whiniest bunch of losers in this entire league.
Jeez.
From the
Like,
top.
Tell
ropes
them
listen to
right
this.
now.
Tell them how you
this.
really feel.
Jeez.
I'll tell them how I really feel. It's I feel the same way about Liverpool fans as this guy does about this United lineup.
Man United should be charged with match fixing and deducted points. This lineup is a fucking disgrace because they know that we need Leicester to lose to get any chance of top four. And that Ole Gunnar Bellend has purposely made a team so shite that even Leicester can beat them. This is a fucking disgrace. It's a disgrace to football. This is worse than the Super League. There needs to be serious ramifications put in place. You shouldn't be allowed to do this. It's a disgrace. Fuck you, Manchester United.
Somebody
the
call the ambulance.
Oh my god! And this is you're a team that just dominated last year. Like you have one down year, relax on it. Like you'll survive. Like I
how the
think it's gonna
mighty
be
have
bad.
fallen.
I watched that when you sent that to us. Was it 2 days ago? I was in tears. Like I was in actual tears laughing at that.
It is so funny.
I couldn't imagine ever getting pressed like that.
Tough
And now
break.
Liverpool's got 2 wins in a row.
Tough
2 wins in a row. They're definitely back in the top 4 talk.
Yeah.
Take away that match they played against Manchester United today was nothing short of like a perfect game for them.
Yeah, masterclass. Because I was gonna say they may have felt a little upset about that lineup, but they got the last laugh here.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they're in 5th place right now.
4 goals in the back of the net today.
Fifth place, game in
my
hand.
God.
4 points behind. They're well in it. Take nothing away from Liverpool. They're a very good team.
You should look up that dude's TikTok again and
I watched.
Did he say something about it today?
I
I
haven't watched it today.
I mean, now
but
that they came out and just beat Man U, is he sitting here feeling justified?
yeah.
If they gave you this game because you cried about it.
Shows them.
speaking of Manchester City, huge upset today or this past weekend. Chelsea, 2-1. We were all I think I was the only guy for Man City, and you know what? I was wrong. I'll say it right now.
I think Andy and I we've been pushing the let's try to figure out how to root for Chelsea train.
Yeah, I'm very open to changing my mind on City, but I don't know. That game on the weekend, I think it just showed a little bit more of a, I don't know, like killer instinct on Chelsea's half. You do have to look at Kun Aguero and just put up a few question marks. City legend, guy won them their first title, will be in the halls of that club forever and always, but he missed a PK. He just had a bad game. And if you saw his PK attempt, he tried to chip the goalie on a PK. And these are world-class goalies. Like, sometimes it goes in, sometimes it's cute, but like this is not the game to do that.
Yeah.
This is not the game to do that.
We just spent all last week talking about how good Mendy's been.
Yeah.
And you think you're gonna trick
Chip
the
Mendy.
one of the tallest goalies in the league? It's gonna get over his head somehow.
Yeah.
Like he's gonna dive straight to the ground.
You need to do it Zidane style, bar down, to have any chance on that. And he didn't.
Or you do it like any other freak penalty kick taker and just smash it in the back of the net.
Bury it low corner. Yeah, like you're supposed to do it. But he didn't. They missed that chance. They missed a couple other ones that seemed like should have gone in. And Chelsea didn't miss their chances when they got them. They sealed the deal, and they brought City down. It looked like City was pretty comfortable though. It looked like they were gonna do what they were gonna do for the first like 60 minutes, and then last half hour, Chelsea just brought the heat. Mason Mount and the boys, Pulisic with an amazing little turn at the top of the box.
He had a rough spell of games.
Yeah,
And now I think he's back to playing his best.
but he came in late as the super sub, and it worked.
So we were talking last week, asking our fans to try to convince us to not
To
bet
go on the
City.
Chelsea, yeah.
So
Chelsea train.
I asked one of my very good friends who is a Chelsea fan. We'll get into it when we're making our bets later because it's going to play a factor into it. But he has some strongly worded opinions on the matter. But can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this kind of being a litmus test. Like, we talked last week. How is how's Conte gonna actually play up in the middle? Like they're matching up. Obviously, this isn't their first game against each other, but like, what's it looking like now that they're both in form? And I mean, to me, it looked like up to par. He played very well. De Bruyne didn't look like a dominant force in this game, and I think that says a lot to Conte as well. So,
yeah, City didn't do what they've typically done to teams this year. They didn't run the show. They didn't control the game the same way that they usually do. Chelsea are the real deal. I mean, they're in FA Cup final. They're in the Champions League final. They didn't get there by accident. They didn't get there by accident.
They're a very good team.
Yeah,
They're a
solid,
very good team.
solid
Take
play.
nothing away from that.
City wasn't really trying to be that midfield possessor this time, and it looked like Chelsea really just kept their foot on the gas. They were just attacking the whole game.
Yeah, I wonder how City feels though, having lost the opportunity to take the title from with the Chelsea victory. Right? They ended up taking it. It was foregone conclusion, like we kind of said, but they took it with a Man United loss, which maybe feels a little sweeter. But yeah, that this, like you said, the matchup came and went, and it looks like it's kind of fallen dead even, and now maybe leaning towards Chelsea's favor.
There's actually a crazy stat out there. I'd have to find it for next episode, but it's if you're going for a championship and you play Chelsea in a deciding game, Chelsea ends up winning that game like over 80% of the time or something like that. It's an insane stat. I think when Tottenham was close to winning the league in 2015, and Leicester had to play, or Leicester was about to win the league. I forget who was right behind him in the standings. They're like a point behind him, and they were playing. The team behind were playing Chelsea, and Chelsea absolutely smothered them, and Leicester clinched the title that day. It was insane. They're in it. Take nothing away from Chelsea. We like to make fun of Chelsea, but they're the real deal.
And they seem to be a big game team right now.
They are a very big game team, 100%. So
yeah.
Speaking of big games, looking into next week,
looking ahead,
they play Leicester City. Leicester City. That's
That'll be a fun one.
That is a third place versus fourth place battle. If Chelsea win, they're in third. Leicester loses, they're in fourth.
It's kind of wild to me looking at the standings right now. We were talking about Chelsea being such a dominant force right now, and seeing Leicester above them in the rankings. So they're going into this. We know Chelsea's going to be the favorite, but yet Leicester has also won a couple games in a row. I guess they've won one, drawn, lost.
They have
won.
They have the same record in the last five. Pretty much.
And it just in different ways, and it's kind of wild to see how that's gonna play out. I mean, Chelsea just lost just this week. Was it yesterday? In a weird game where I think that if I'm Man City, I'm gonna watch to see how that played out, because they were really slowed down. Like they weren't able to stay as aggressive up in the front end, and it looked like that was the game plan kind of going in. Score a goal early, not park the bench, keep pressing, but just don't allow them to just hang out the whole time.
Yeah.
They had, they still had like 64% possession throughout the week, but they're usually higher than that.
They usually play a lot better than they did. It's unfortunate that they lost, because they'd have that third spot locked up, maybe a second place locked up, but shit happens in the Premier League, man.
Way it goes.
This top four race, it's gonna get close.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. There's I think it was like 2 years ago, where every team was set in stone with their place by like the end of the year. Mm-hmm. This is like the first good top four race we've had in a while.
Things are gonna move to the last day.
And if I'm Chelsea, am I not getting a little nervous that I look behind me and it's Liverpool that's right behind me? That's who's barking up the tree right now for 4.
I think Arlo White, one of the commentators today after the game, he doesn't think Liverpool's the real deal. For some reason, I forget what he said. He just thinks that they're just too bipolar in their play.
They're inconsistent.
They're a very inconsistent team. Their last 3.
Well, I mean, their last 5, they've won, drawn, won. I mean, they haven't lost in a while.
They're in a good streak, but I do think that they have. We talk about Chelsea as a big game team. I think some of their big matchups this year they've dropped.
Yeah. So the games that won in the league last year, they dropped this year, which is very unfortunate.
But that's why we might find ourselves kind of stuck in that position again, where if for some reason Chelsea loses a couple games here at the end of the season, and Liverpool jumps up in Premier, takes that 4 spot, but Chelsea ends up winning champions. Like what we're going to be looking at, Liverpool now still not getting in.
So if Chelsea ends up winning the Champions League, Liverpool will get in because they're in, I forget what place they're in. They're in 5th. And if they come in 4th, they're still going to get it. It's not.
Well, Chelsea have 3 options right now.
Yeah.
League, FA Cup, Champions League win.
Mm-hmm.
So if they somehow if that falls, oh my god!
I hate that I'd be kind of rooting for us. I'm rooting for Chelsea in the other aspects, but this is good for talk. It's good for us.
If that just dive bombs and Chelsea do not make European Champions League next year, oh man, that would be something. That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
But we'll have to wait and see what kind of. I don't know. I don't think Chelsea are gonna slide. I really don't.
I don't see them sliding either.
I think they're too focused. We did say that maybe they'll start kind of resting, looking for a final maybe. But if
they win, this is the FA Cup match we're talking about.
This is a preview of the FA Cup final. So maybe they want to play it like they did City, where show them we can beat you and this is how, and we're gonna do it again in a couple weeks.
That's true. And then their last games against Aston Villa, and I mean that's a losable game too. I mean you expect them to win it, but it's a losable game.
These aren't easy wins for them by any stretch.
That is great,
but
makes for some good entertaining.
Yeah, I think that'll be a heck of a game.
Yeah. I also want to put this out to anybody that's listening. Feel free to reach out to us. Most of you guys right now, probably people that we know in some way or shape or form. Let us know what games you're interested in. If there's a certain game that you guys are a fan of or you really want to watch, let us know and we'll deep dive into one of your games. Maybe we'll talk about, a betting line if that's what you're looking for. If you're just looking to see what players might be coming up or next season, all this stuff's coming up. So definitely let us know.
Yeah. Can't wait.
Let the boys know.
Let the boys know. Give the people what they want.
Right. So back to kind of looking forward. We talked about the Man U Liverpool game, so that happened today, 4-2, kind of a wild game. We talked about how we were hoping it was going to be a draw, like that was kind of where things seemed like it was heading.
Yeah,
they went up 3-1, and then Man U comes back, gets 2-3. It's looking like we might make this, and then 90th, Liverpool kind of seals the deal.
United has that reputation this year of winning I think they have 31 points from a losing position this year.
Yeah, second half.
As soon as that second goal went in, everyone was like, "Oh, here they come!" And then immediately after that goal, 2 minutes later, Greenwood had a nice shot.
Yeah,
that Nathaniel Phillips kid from Bolton Wanderers thought he was never going to see the field this year, and he played a heck of a game today. Insane. Props to Liverpool. They played a great game today.
Yeah, hey, nice of you for giving props.
Little heat at the end of the game, though.
You just called them the biggest crybabies in the world. Now you're trying to backtrack. Look at that.
I think he can separate fans from the team.
I can separate fans from the team.
Okay, sure.
The team itself played a very good game today.
The fans cried the whole way.
The fans suck.
Yeah.
But at the end of the game, Mane's walking off. I think he got subbed on in the 74th minute. Klopp tried to give him a high five at the end of the game, swatted his hand away.
So I was reading something in the beginning of this week. Mane had said something that he's been going to get like physicals and medical tests to explain to himself why he feels that this year he has not even been close. Physically, mentally, everything. I mean, you can kind of see it on the field. He's not as sharp as he once was.
Yeah.
And he says he was like searching for answers. And he got nothing from the doctors he went to see. So it could just be like monkey on his back, mental block, something going on. And I think maybe it's affecting his own personal relationships with the coaches, with the staff, where he's just that comes from frustration.
Yeah, it does.
Right?
Sometimes
you like to see that because sometimes it's like that guy wants to be on the field. He wants to be there so bad that he doesn't want to come out. But maybe with Mane, it's more like just mad at himself, mad at the coaches, he's just mad.
Yeah.
And it's too bad.
It's crazy. He is such a good player.
Yeah,
I hate to see it. He's such a good player. I actually want to play this up right now. Speaking of Liverpool fans, I just want to play this little clip here for you. Speaking of Sadio Mane, every Liverpool fan thinks Sadio Mane is the best player in the world.
Oh yeah, well he
definitely was.
He was crazy.
Last year.
He scored a goal while we were there, Nick. What do you got to say to that?
There it is.
I was there. I was in enemy
Yeah,
territory.
he shut you up. He could sense your negativity from the crowd. He shut you
What else
up.
do you want me
So
to say?
this is for you.
Anything else?
Unbelievable.
Yes.
We blew them away.
We did. Every player was boss, and the one that I'm mentioning now, Sadio Mane. I said it last time I was on it. He's the best football player in the world. I don't know why he's laughing for. What, Chris? Why are you laughing for? Why are you laughing for? I'm being serious. I'm being serious. No, you see. I'm talking facts here. I don't do if buts and maybes. I do absolutes. And like if your aunt had balls, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't, so she's not. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Not really, but I'm
He
not.
understands what you're saying.
So like.
He said, if my aunt has uncles, if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle.
Okay.
He deals in
Thank you for the
absolutes. That's
translation.
what Liverpool fans do. They deal in absolutes.
Deal in absolutes. That shit's hilarious, though. Yeah, that's that. Good for that.
Yeah.
Good for Sadio Mane.
Good. Now, hopefully that anger, he uses that. Hopefully that's a spark. That's that's that competitive edge, like we're
Yeah.
saying. That
Against
that
West
really,
Brom.
that really pushes him in.
I mean, but if you're that kind of athlete and you're looking for the answers and you can't find them, that's super disparaging.
Yeah.
You hate to see it, especially a player of his caliber. But hey, maybe
Is
he'll
that
figure
something
next
like
year.
This could be like the old COVID brain
got the
kind of
yips.
just like
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Yeah,
yips. Like,
got
is
the
that
yips.
like does that happen a lot in soccer? Like, do you notice the yips happening? And there's other sports you just see it that's just more pronounced.
forwards go snake bitten for long periods of time.
Yeah.
That's kind of the term we used to use, kind of where no matter what you do, the ball hits the post, the goalie you hit the dirt, the ball doesn't curve, it goes off your pinky toe. It's something, but you toe it when you shouldn't have. You slip, you fall, something just, or you get called offsides when you weren't. Mm-hmm. Things can break the wrong way, but for him, for a guy like you just said, of that high class, high caliber, it's got to turn around. But it doesn't really. I haven't seen it turn yet. He's still struggling. He's still in that kind of snake bitten phase. And then again, like you just said, if he's thinking about it, talking about it, and struggling for it, maybe he's making it worse
Yeah.
by being so concerned about it.
If you're thinking about it too much, you're
then
just
it's
way too into
yeah,
it.
then you're definitely making it a problem. It's like one of the things, like, is worrying about it going to fix it? No. So why worry about it?
Yeah. If
just
worrying
gotta
about
go
it's
and
going to
play.
make you work harder, if worrying about it's going to get you into the gym or get you practicing on it, then that's helpful. But if
Yeah.
it's worrying just to worry, yeah, I mean that's gonna definitely freeze you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
so
tough.
we'll see how he bounces back. I mean, they're playing West Brom this weekend, right?
Yep.
I think that's a game they can take. I mean, that's a game that maybe you want to see him score some goals in. He can have an opportunity to run. I mean, I would hope that Klopp doesn't take that as being like, forget this guy,
Yeah.
bench
You
him.
hate to see that.
I don't think it'll go to that level because I mean, you heard that young Liverpool fan, and there are people that still support him even though he has had a difficult year.
Yeah.
Well, nothing to get you back on track than get a little Braum in your system.
Speaking of the Brom, I think we'll talk about this later. They're kind of a formidable force sometimes. I think, in my opinion, I think they can definitely bring it to some teams.
They can show up.
They show up to some teams.
They
And
don't always.
Liverpool, these last couple of games, they play Burnley, West Brom, and Crystal Palace. Burnley and West Brom are pretty stout defensively when they want to be, and we'll see how that plays out this weekend, especially tomorrow. Especially on Sunday. Sorry.
They're not very good at scoring goals, so we'll see what happens. And formidable, like if you're not scoring, but
Yeah,
we've got 19 goals all season.
yeah. Looking forward to this weekend again. Another losable game for Tottenham against the Wolves.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely I'll be talking about that in my bets too. But it's kind of a little bit of I'm worried about that being a trap. Like it's kind of a weird game for them. The Wolves can score. They can score all over the field from multiple different spots, but they're a little weak when it comes to set pieces. I think that they've given up 13, 14 set piece goals this year. And I mean, you got Harry Kane in there, so just start throwing the ball up to the big guy.
I think you're as a fan. I think you're overlooking this game a little too much. Wolves are kind of having a down year. Yeah, they're still dangerous, but if Tottenham plays the way they played 2 games ago, it would be a different story. But if they play like they played against Leeds, it's Wolves all the way.
Listen, I'll get into it in the betting block on my thoughts on like where you would take. As a fan, I think they should clean this. I think that the matchup is good. I think there's going to be a lot of goals.
Yep.
Because the Spurs their defense is absolute booty. But I mean, they can score and set pieces, like that's a thing that they're good at.
Yeah.
They have guys that can do that all over the place.
The Portuguese midfield are very good at set pieces.
Yeah. I mean, if Dele Alli is playing there in the middle, then moving it that's what he's going to do. Just set it up.
Yep.
Just throw the ball up as high as he can and let Kane just be taller than everybody else. And the Wolves have shown this year that they can't guard that. So, I mean, I think that's going to be kind of the deciding factor. But we'll get into me as the betting man when that happens. Well, I don't know.
And looking forward to this upcoming weekend, top 6 battle, top 4 battle. West Ham plays Brighton. Last game against West Ham and Brighton. Let's see. Let's take a look head to head.
Yeah, West Ham.
We've been
talking about it. We want them to make that move. We want them to hold on.
Yeah, but
is this a game that's going to get them right, or is this a game where we're just going to see them fully crumble?
So I hate to say it, unfortunately, the last 4 games head to head have all been ties.
Really?
Yes.
So I mean, only taking a point is not great news for the
need
West.
more
They
than a
need
point.
wins. They need to win this game. But it seems as though that it's been. I mean, history dictates that it's a pretty fair matchup, straight even. So this is one of those times where we'll see if it was kind of a fluky year or if it was like they're the real deal. Because if they can kind of hunker down and win, then it shows that they have some tenacity. They have fight. They can bounce back, and maybe they only need to make a couple moves. But if they start sliding now, that just kind of shows that maybe they went hot, and that's the best that they'll do is get hot.
And that's what you noticed when you were watching the last game too, right? It was like the fight that they had. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, that because those January, February games, they were running up and down. They were just harassing teams. Even in draws, if they didn't win, they were giving it really good games every time.
Yeah, they were going for it.
But a couple bad results now. They're not going for it the same way. But this game might be where they right the ship and hopefully scratch top 4.
Yeah, I really want them to scratch at least. At least I want to get Europa League.
Yeah, to the
that
5.
would be nice to see.
Yeah, go
honestly.
play European soccer next year.
Yeah.
That you can't for a team like West Ham that you can't just jump into Champions League.
Yeah,
like
that would have been a rude awakening. Yeah, they would have finished the year in Europa League. Absolutely. I don't think they'd make it out of group stage, but you never know.
This could be the beginning of like a Sevilla story.
Yeah, team just running Europa League for a couple of years, then break into the top. That would be nice.
I think they can do it. I believe in West Ham.
I believe in West Ham.
I believe in West Ham
Wants
too.
to blow some bubbles.
I sure do.
And for all you guys working from home, Tuesday and Wednesday, there's like full sheets of games.
Yeah, this upcoming
Of next
Tuesday.
week.
Yeah, coming up on Tuesday and Wednesday after the weekend.
Absolutely.
So for our show next week, if you've watched any of those games, you want to recap, let us know so we can kind of talk about it. But there are a lot of games, so if you're at home, definitely knuckle down.
Yeah.
I got jury duty on Wednesday, so I don't know if I'm gonna be
civic duty. Good for you.
Civic duty. So sorry, world. I'm out on those games. Don't bring them up to me.
Give us the rundown and we'll report back.
Yeah.
Some of us, we have to, miss games for our civic duty, right? That's a thing that happens now.
Yeah. Yeah, Marcelo.
I guess so.
Marcelo, that was leading it in.
Yeah,
Come on.
Marcelo almost missed that Champions League semifinal for election.
Even
day.
if you missed it, it wouldn't have made that big of a difference.
Right.
Really.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, merengues.
Yeah.
No luck.
Real quick, before we move into the next section, I wanted to bounce this idea off of you, Nick. McGregor owner of Man U. What would you feel about that? Like, is that something that like gets your balls hot, or are you sitting in an ice bath?
McGregor buying Man U, balls way up in the stomach. Let me tell you. First of all, let's just like in reality, it's not going to happen. One, he doesn't have enough money, I think, in my opinion, to buy Man United and keep them from tanking. He's gonna have to sacrifice so much. I mean, if he had like a part, if he had like another
some
guy,
sort of partner, he could try and find a sports group.
yeah, he could definitely find a sports group. But what team wants to be bought by a sports group? Liverpool, the Red Sox, pretty much all sports groups.
Yeah.
Who else?
Well, I was just looking at this.
Sports group.
McGregor is the highest paid sports person,
Man.
like the athlete. He's the highest paid athlete in the world. The entire world from anything. He's the highest paid. That's a kind of a wild thing. And I think that just that notoriety that he has, you know, even though he hasn't been really winning fights, that could be something that he could bring in a management group that's going to be like, all right, we can market this, we can make money off of this.
Bad boys.
So let's, yeah,
of England
exactly.
again. I don't,
you know,
yeah,
so
but-
like throwing money in because they know they're going to make money off the team.
Do
Like,
you
it's an
want
easy
do you
sell.
want
teasing.
United to be a gimmick team now with like does
I
that make
do
them
not.
gimmicky? I think it makes them kind of gimmicky that
Yeah.
Conor McGregor's part of like no that
Yeah.
that would make me not like them even more.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars just signed Tim Tebow to be tight end. Like, okay, cool. He's not going to play.
So he was linked with buying shares in a team, but it's not United. It's
Celtic.
Celtic.
Yes, but he wants United, but Celtic is like
his shtick
grab
more
it
than
all.
anything else.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like because he would probably do
He would
better
do great things with
as a-
Celtic rather than
as a
Man
Scottish part owner than Man
Yeah,
United.
but
United's just they're too big of a team to be owned or be even part owned.
A single person cannot buy
Buy,
and make a
yeah.
huge difference in
not unless he's got $1 billion, but still,
just-
I want it.
It's good for the
I'm not a
headlines.
Man U fan,
He
so
does
as
the
a person who wants to
headlines
come here
yeah.
and speak about this, I want him to keep talking about it.
He does it for us to talk about it.
And look, we're talking about it.
Wouldn't the fans get behind that though? If he just comes in and just grabs the Glazers and throws them into the fucking octagon,
Just
you
beats
know what
the
I mean?
hell out of
Just
them.
beats the fucking hell out of
Yeah.
them, gets them out of there. We got no more stadium on fire. Like the fans probably be happy for at least a year.
That's
So
fair.
they realize that
That's
he's
fair.
not good.
Clown. Yeah, I mean
He
he's
doesn't
too,
know what he's doing.
he's too polarizing though too. Like
Yeah,
not
too-
every
too big of a polarizing
not
figure.
every United fan would be in a scenario where he actually had the finances to do that.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of United fans would be like, "Oh my god, I hate this guy."
Yeah.
Tons of people would be
Everyone hates him. A lot of people hate Conor McGregor. Just for the way he is and him saying this wants to buy Man United, it just adds fuel to the fire. And I don't think it's gonna work out. I don't think it'll ever work out.
Yeah. Pipe dreams.
Pipe dreams. Speaking of pipe dreams, VAR. Let's introduce
Yeah.
this next section
Our
here.
picks.
Yeah.
Last week.
So this is gonna be this it's a little new segment that we're gonna start. I think hopefully it doesn't crush every time, but this is gonna be a new segment that we're definitely gonna be introducing. It's gonna be the VAR, and really what it's gonna be standing for is just basically fade Arbey. This is gonna be where all my bets don't hit.
I faded Arbey all weekend long, and let me tell you, I did pretty well for myself.
And as you listeners out there should know, that's going to be the recipe for success. But let's go into what it is that we had as the biggest misses, and that's going to start off with Everton West Ham. We talked about this game, and I was all over the over. I wanted the over. I was like, this is that game. I'm telling you, it's going to be 4-2. It's going to be 4-2. That's 1-0.
Yep.
1-0.
I had
That one
West Ham
just is a
money line.
big middle finger staring at me in the face, just like, fuck you, you're way wrong. Ouch.
Going to VAR though. I mean, again, it's one of those questionable calls, that could have been made. If we looked at the head to head, all those games are pretty close. Not very high scoring affairs. Maybe if we did a little little more research.
Deeper
Yeah, well,
Deeper dive.
it was just the guys were coming back healthy and needed to score. They needed to put up goals, and they could have. There was multiple chances that they missed set pieces that were wide open. This game probably would have been closer to like 3-1, right? 2-1, and then you're still looking at 3, but easy wide open goals that were just missed headers by West Ham.
Yep. I also had West Ham on the money line.
Yeah,
that one was a tough one. You know what? They had. I'll say this again. Possession's a useless stat, but they had like 70% possession. You think they could? They had 70% possession, but only had one big chance created. That's a little ridiculous, if you ask me.
It's very ridiculous. It's sad.
It is very sad.
You know, we talked them up pretty hard in this, so we were really looking for them to make a move this week and kind of hold position. Instead, they lost it to Liverpool because they couldn't beat Everton.
Yeah.
You know, Everton made that move up behind Tottenham, and boom.
Yeah. VAR review. That was a bad bet.
That was a bad bet.
Tough one. Next one I'll go into is the one I wanted. Liverpool Southampton over at 3. Yeah, the VAR quickly indicated that Danny Ings, the top scorer, Southampton, or the top striker, England striker, he had a hamstring injury the week before that I glazed over. We missed it. That should have been evidence enough that they were going to get blanked. I thought that they were going to notch in a couple. I thought it was going to be at least maybe a push of a 3-1, 4-2, like going to be a game. No, 2-0.
You know what? It's all on Liverpool. They could have scored another one. Give you a little push there.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, with Mane playing, like we were saying, last year I looked. So he won the Golden Boot, I think 2 years ago, right? It was even last year though. In all competitions, 22 goals. This year, in all competitions, he's got 14, and most of them came in the first half of the year. Only 9 Premier League goals. So I mean, yeah, they're not doing it. They're not doing it.
No
Bad look.
That's
Too bad. Too friggin' bad.
So I kind of hedged my bet there. I bet on the over. Bad for me. VAR. That was a bad decision, but I hedged it with a Liverpool money line.
All right.
I kind of salvaged a little self preservation there.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we all kind of knew that Southampton wasn't going to win the game, but
Yeah, I just wanted a goal from
but
him.
like one goal,
yeah.
Two,
just
maybe?
Liverpool's not playing all the way up to snuff.
Yeah.
So they sneak in one. That or Liverpool does play up. and they score 3 themselves.
I mean, they scored
right?
4 today against United.
Against
who was
a
playing
way better team.
A stronger team.
Yeah.
But they didn't do it against Southampton. I thought they were gonna, because they missed the game. They had extra rest.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, the lack of production from Southampton was kind of what really killed it. It could have at least been a push, something. They could have, But the beat goes on.
Yep. And then the final one that we had here was maybe I played this one a little too close to the vest here, but taking Tottenham money line against Leeds. They had won the last 2 games under the new manager. They had just brought Bale up, and we're gonna start playing them regularly. I'm thinking we got this sexy scoring top striker, top center forwards. Like, it's gonna be dope.
Goals
we got
coming, yeah.
Son, Kane, and then Bale just hanging out together, constantly pressing, scoring goals. They only got 1. Granted, VAR really did kind of screw us in this one.
Yep.
Harry Kane offsides is kind of trash, especially considering the last goal that was scored in that game looked like it was offside. Even the players were like, okay, well, that's kind of trash. So, I mean, it was one of those again, bad beats.
I'll say it though. It wasn't your reasoning. It wasn't that bad. If we went to VAR, it would have been a good decision to make that bet. Honestly, they were on a roll. Unfortunately, just the cards on the table just didn't read right.
They fell flat. Yeah, we didn't know that it was gonna.
Yeah, we didn't know.
We had no idea.
I actually,
because they were looking great.
Leadsing up to it, it felt No, don't use that. I'll see myself out.
But yeah, no, Tottenham looked like a team that were gonna do things to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Leeds just came out and just took it to them.
We're talking about they got the plus 20 score differential, and they're still not like winning that many games, only 16 wins. So
they just they're dropping big ones.
It's bizarre because they have the capability to score. And it's not like they're giving up. Like their defense is bad, but it's not that bad.
Yep.
So this weekend, what was your record this weekend for your bets? Let's start taking track of our bets here.
Oh, I have them right here. If you would like to hear me read them out loud and just defame myself.
All of our listeners out there, if you want to follow us and our bets, you can hit us up at My Action. We'll get those out to you soon. But I mean, most of the guys that I talk to already have My Action.
Yeah.
So.
If you're looking for mine, I'm just. Let me see what the full name is. It looks like it's Ryan Brennan 0105. So you can find me out there on that.
Yep. It's actually Arbey's that got the meat 69.
yeah. That's what it should be. And maybe I'd be winning if I was using my nickname versus my actual name.
I'm Ricciardi 32. Just give me a follow. I'm 9-5 this past weekend, fading Arbey.
Fading Arbey.
Good for me.
Good for you.
Great for me.
Yeah.
Let's.
So I went 0 for 5.
Tough.
I mean I got smashed last week. Those are just my soccer bets. Luckily, I got baseball that saves me a little, but
Yeah.
I mean I got absolutely smashed in every one.
So
Which is bad because we started off. I think we were saying we were
started off 75%.
75%, and then boom. I mean, I was just due for
back down to earth. So what picks are you gonna lose on this week?
Yeah. So for all you guys out there hearing me say that I'm 0-5 from last week, fade the hell out of me right now. The first one I'm looking at was gonna be today's bet. I actually won this one, so luckily for you guys, I didn't put it out there for you to fade me.
Yeah.
But it was going to be taking the first half money line for Liverpool.
Oh, that hit barely.
Yeah,
Good for you.
barely hit, but it hit.
Yeah, Firmino in stoppage time.
Right at the
As close
as you can get for it.
Yeah, +2.
Yeah. I was in the work office today and I couldn't put the game on or stream it, so I just had it up on like
the
stack.
live
Yeah, the
ticker.
live ticker. And I'm sitting here like my butthole could have
F45.
could have snapped a straw in half,
Oh, no. Yeah, you can't even get to see how many extra minutes at it. Yeah,
no,
that must have been.
I was just staring at it and I go,
painful.
damn, fade the board. That's 0-6. That's
Yeah.
0-6.
You see +2 and you just shake your head. It's not enough.
And so that's
Jay,
Wow.
did you fade Arbey this weekend?
Good for you, man.
Inadvertently, I faded you. Yeah, in the sense that I didn't take any bets, I faded you. Yeah,
That's how you
Save
say
your
it.
I forgot last week. Jay finds off the gambling.
use off the sauce.
Look, I can't play favorites. I got too many people.
Yeah, too many bets
Too many
coming in.
people giving me too many bets. I would like to take them all, but we're not at that point yet.
He's
yeah.
It'd be very irresponsible.
He's a stronger man than me.
He's a strong, yeah.
Just building capital.
Yeah. So my reasoning behind all that too was simply that Man U, like you were saying earlier, Nick, they've been coming from behind. They've been losing these big games and they've been just dominating second halves and coming out. So I go, we're looking at this. We had made this bet together like 2 weeks ago now, but the draw, we were all talking about the draw. It was kind of like a consensus, like bang for your buck type pick. And we were like, that's what's going to be like. But to me, it was going to be a draw because Liverpool was going to go up 2-0, and then Man U was going to fly back and tie it up 2-0.
Yeah, some late heroics, but no, Liverpool just bossed
slow out
Hey,
it. Yeah,
you got one of them.
got one of them, baby.
Got one. That's all that matters.
What else we got?
So for the rest of the future here, so West Ham, getting back on track. Taking the money line here. I know that we're just talking about how it's been draws their last four matches, and you know what? I don't care. I don't care.
I don't care.
I decided that I don't care.
You know what?
It's West
This
Ham.
weekend's
West
the
Ham has
weekend.
to win this game. It means so much more to them than it means to Brighton. And I don't care what people think. That emotion matters. And I think that emotion really matters. They can't settle for a draw, and they know it, so they're going to attack. If they lose, there's going to be goals scored in this because they are going to have to attack.
I was about to fade the fuck out of you, but you convinced me. I'll go West Ham plus 140 on the money line, and just to spice it up a little bit, I'll hit the over 2.5.
I'm staying away from the over. I'm just straight
just
hitting West Ham to win.
Fade me. Feel free to fade me as well. Another one, Leeds Burnley. I'll say it right now. I'm going to take Leeds on the money line here, plus 125.
All right.
They're the favorites. If you want to take Burnley, they're plus 206 on the money line. I think they can pull it out. Leeds, they're a pretty solid team to beat. I'll give it to them.
Good result on the weekend too.
It would be nice. And then we were talking about it. Wolves Tottenham.
Yeah, so this is my two. I got two of my favorite picks are right here in this game, and it's not because I'm a Spurs fan. It's actually because I've been a fan of watching the Wolves play. I really like their attacking scoring. Like, they're entertaining as hell to watch. And so I look at Tottenham and I look at Wolves, and I just think it's a matchup where they just match up offensively against each other's defenses. So this one to me isn't going to be who outlasts one. It's going to be who scores more than the other team. I mentioned it before. The Wolves have given up, I think, the most set-piece goals, in the league. They got 14, 13 against them.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And that's a lot of set-piece goals. Like, that's a lot.
And with that front three, Tottenham, they're gonna get corners. They're gonna get fouled near the box. They're gonna get set pieces. So
I mean, this isn't great value here, but I like Harry Kane scoring a goal in this. I just think that with that stat in mind, he's the guy that kind of keeps the engine running. He is their lead, like, he's their scorer.
And against Wolves, like, you need Harry Kane to score.
He needs to score.
You need him.
And and like we said, they're gonna be a lot of corners. Like, they're gonna be pushing it, trying to make those shots happen, and they're gonna get these corners, and that's where Harry Kane thrives. He is a set piece monster.
Yeah.
So let the boy's forehead do the talking.
I'll toss one more out there before I make a fun bet here. Good bet, Liverpool, West Brom. I know I'm going to completely contradict myself here, saying that West Brom could be kind of formidable sometimes. The over is 3.5. It's plus 114. It's a little enticing. I think I'm going to take it.
The over?
The over, 3.5.
For a team that scored 16 goals all year and doesn't give up goals?
Right now, it's gonna happen.
So you think
turn it on?
You think Liverpool's going to score 4 goals again?
Liverpool coaxes some goals out of them.
Yeah.
Maybe. You never know.
I don't know. Liverpool might put up 2 goals on them and chill out.
Feel free to fade me.
Yeah.
Let's see if you got the meats.
Yeah. But back to the Tottenham Wolves game here. As the Tottenham fan, stay the hell away from their money line. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. Minus 220 is their money line right now in this kind of game. After coming off that loss, nah.
I'm going to fade you.
I think
fade you.
Yeah, the Wolves at plus 550. If you're looking for just a throw some money at a high underdog, this is one where there's a good chance that the Wolves win.
Yeah, like hell, but they could do it.
They could do it.
That's a bang for your buck bet.
It's a bang for your buck bet. That's what we're putting that one in.
I know I've lost money just on a couple bets. Just because I want to see Sheffield United at least win one more time. They're playing Everton.
Betting them every week.
They're playing. I bet them every week.
Bottom dwellers.
Because their money lines are just like, if I
like plus 700 plus 8. Yeah.
If I put like $20 down on this and I hit, I'm gonna be fucking happy.
Yeah. I mean, don't put a whole unit down on the Wolves plus 550.
Well,
but
I'll probably
you want to put a half unit down or something like that, or a quarter unit. Go ahead and throw some cash there. It's one of those ones where like you bet it there, not expecting to win, but if it wins and you hit your other bet, all of a sudden you're huge.
Smartest person on earth.
Yeah. Now you're huge. Now you can do whatever you want with that money.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all I got for today, boys.
Yeah, I was just gonna say some quick final thoughts. Some on relegation. What is there anything that's popping out in you guys? Any movement that's gonna happen, or are we kind of set?
It's all set.
It's done, so
it's done. Relegation set. 3 teams going down. Fulham, West
Brom. What do we
I mean, it doesn't really mean West Brom could win, Fulham could lose. I mean, that's the only two changes it's going to be.
Yeah.
That's that going from
Doesn't
No, I mean, which teams are coming up? Which teams are going down?
So teams coming down. We got Fulham at 18th, West Brom at 19th, and Sheffield at lonely 20. Unfortunately, English Championship. We got Norwich City. We have
We know which
Watford.
city.
and then
Brentford team I didn't really.
So here's the thing.
Haven't heard or seen about them in the
So
Premier
here's
League.
the thing. Norwich City and Watford confirmed coming up. The last spot for the Premier League is going to be played between
Playoff, right?
Brentford Bees, Swansea City, Barnsley, and Bournemouth.
Yep. So it's a 4-team tournament essentially for the last spot.
It's
Brentford would host
Bournemouth.
Swansea would host Barnsley, and then they would have a playoff at Wembley
for the final.
That's kind of awesome.
So
It's
last
epic. It's
year,
epic.
That's
So
kind of
super
awesome.
epic.
so last year I bet it all on the Brentford Bees to win, and fucking Fulham.
Sure enough.
Fucking Fulham. Every year they just make that playoff, and then they make it to the Premier League, and then they just get absolutely fucking smoked,
They turn it back around.
and then they turn it right back on in the championship. Just give the Brentford Bees a chance.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Give
a
the
new-
Brentford Bees a chance.
It's a new team.
I do like Watford and Swansea too.
Yeah.
The Swans kind of always intrigued me. I like the way they used to play when they were up. But yeah, it'll be, and Bournemouth too's got they've been around.
They've been around for a while.
They made some noise when they were up in the top league.
Talk about a classic team, kind of on the come up here in the championship. 9th place, QPR, Queens
Yeah.
Park Rangers.
Yeah, they could be coming back.
They might be coming back. Bobby
Yep.
Zamora, remember that goal?
We got some. We got a whole nother year to bring up. It's just funny looking at this table now.
Yeah.
The teams you recognize and the teams that are just like, who is this?
Yep.
Too bad Stoke City, Cold Nights in Stoke aren't happening next year.
Yeah.
Maybe
unfortunately.
for a while.
So, if you guys are actually looking for a good documentary series, Sunderland Till I Die.
Yeah.
If you guys want to get more into soccer, watch Sunderland Till I Die, The English Game, Green Street Hooligans,
Yeah.
or just watch last minute game winners for soccer. That'll
No,
get
you just
juices
got to watch
flowing.
this little relegation playoff and just
Yeah.
watch these guys
Wembley.
literally fight for their
Life or death.
Yeah.
fight for their lives.
The
Just
only-
pure emotion.
The only relegation or the only championship game that I've watched was because of my friend Trevor. He is the biggest Villa fan, and now they're back in the Premier League after playing Fulham in the final 2 years ago. He was so hyped.
It's madness. Yeah.
You gotta-
it's like
you
winning
gotta
the league.
feel
It's
it.
like winning the league.
Yeah.
Getting up.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's huge.
Yeah.
Humongous.
Yeah, it was like my Bills making the playoffs for the first time.
yeah,
You
you
know what I
lose
mean?
your-
It's
lose your
that
dang
you
mind.
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it for us again here. Wrap it up here for episode 3.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure again talking with the boys, shooting the shit.
And just on the way out, final thoughts. Big ups to Dortmund clinching the DFB Pokal final today.
good for them.
Jadon Sancho looks legit.
Sancho legitimately on his
Yeah.
way to Manchester United this
Yeah.
summer. Thank you very much. That's all I'm going to say. I'm out.
Later.
Later.